There's a bottle of oil sitting in aisle 4 of almost every grocery store that costs $3 and takes a rusted cast iron skillet and makes it better than the day it was forged. Not cleaner, not temporarily revived. Chemically reborn. The rust doesn't get wiped away. It gets converted into a hard black ceramic coating that water beads on like mercury on glass. And the cookware industry has spent the last 60 years making sure the word ruined stuck to rusted cast iron so you'd buy a new pan every 5 years instead of fixing the one your grandmother left you. One bottle, 10 minutes of active work. A skillet that outlives you and your children. That's what we're talking about. In 1956, a French engineer named Marc Gregoire coated an aluminum pan with a polymer his wife originally wanted for fishing line. And within 15 years, the entire American cookware industry had rewritten its business model around making your grandmother's skillet look outdated. The polymer was polytetrafluoroethylene. You know it as Teflon. And here's what nobody tells you about that moment in cookware history. It wasn't a better cooking surface. It was a better business model. Teflon pans wear out. The coating scratches. Heat above 450 degrees starts to degrade it. A Teflon pan has a functional lifespan of roughly 3 to 5 years under normal home use. After that, you buy another one. Cast iron has a functional lifespan of roughly forever. And that's the problem. That's the whole problem. You cannot build a quarterly earnings report around a product that lasts 200 years. By 1972, nearly every major American cookware manufacturer had either pivoted hard into nonstick or quietly shrunk their cast iron divisions. Griswold, one of the finest cast iron foundries America ever produced, was absorbed and shut down. Wagner followed. The knowledge of how to care for cast iron stopped being passed down because industry stopped having a reason to teach it. And within a single generation, Americans went from a country where a rusted skillet was a 20-minute afternoon project to a country where a rusted skillet was trash. That shift didn't happen because the chemistry changed. The chemistry hasn't changed in 4,000 years. It happened because somebody realized you can't sell a subscription to something that works permanently. A cast iron skillet forged in a Pennsylvania foundry in 1890 is still cooking breakfast somewhere in Kentucky this morning. I want you to sit with that for a second. Not an antique on a shelf. An actual working kitchen tool, older than cars, older than radio, still in daily rotation. There are Griswold pans from the 1920s being sold on estate sale tables for $8 right now because the grandchildren who inherited them genuinely believed the orange coating on the bottom meant the pan was dead. It's not dead. It's sleeping. And the oil we're about to talk about is what wakes it up. The Chinese were casting iron cookware in the Han Dynasty around 200 BC. The technique spread through Persia, then into medieval Europe, and by the time the first foundries opened in colonial America, the method for sealing iron against rust was already 2,000 years old. It involved a specific kind of oil, not any oil, a drying oil, meaning an oil that, when heated, doesn't just coat the surface. It chemically transforms. It stops being oil and becomes something closer to a plastic. Something closer to a gemstone, actually. The Japanese sword makers used it on blades. The Norwegians used it on wooden ship hulls. Rembrandt used it in his paints. And those paintings are still intact, 400. Years later, cracking only where the canvas warps beneath them. In 1943, the United States Navy published an internal maintenance document on the care of cast iron galley equipment aboard destroyers. The document is 19 pages long. It describes in detail how to restore heavily rusted cookware using a single agricultural oil in a standard ship's oven. The procedure took 40 minutes. It was performed roughly once a year on every iron pan in the fleet. That document was declassified in the 1970s. It's sitting in a Navy archive. Almost nobody has read it because by the time it was declassified, nobody in American home kitchens cared about cast iron anymore. The Navy kept using the method because the Navy cares about things that last. Your grocery store stopped stocking the oil in its original form because your grocery store cares about things that sell. Rust is iron trying to return to the earth it was pulled out of. That's the one sentence of chemistry you need to understand everything that follows. Iron, left exposed to oxygen and moisture, reacts with both to form iron oxide. Iron oxide is the red-orange powder you see on an abandoned skillet. It's soft. It flakes. It pits the metal underneath. Left alone long enough, a cast iron pan will eventually rust all the way through, but that process takes decades, sometimes centuries, depending on conditions. Most rusted pans you find aren't damaged. They're just oxidized on the surface. Here's the part that almost nobody understands. You don't have to remove the rust. Not chemically, not in the way you're thinking. The oil I'm about to name does something different from what modern rust removers do. Modern rust removers are acids. They dissolve the iron oxide and leave you with bare, raw metal, which immediately starts rusting again the second air touches it. That's why commercial rust removal products always require you to coat the metal within hours of stripping it. They create a window of vulnerability. A drying oil, heated above its smoke point, does something fundamentally different. The oil molecules, specifically a molecule called alpha-linolenic acid, break apart in the heat and recombine with oxygen in a process called polymerization. They form long chains. Those chains interlock, and they bond directly to the iron atoms on the surface of the pan, filling every microscopic pit and crevice left behind by the rust. The result isn't a coating sitting on top of the metal like paint. The result is a new surface chemically fused to the iron, harder than the original metal, and completely non-porous. Water can't penetrate it. Oxygen can't penetrate it. Rust literally cannot form. This is the same chemistry that makes linseed oil one of the most durable wood finishes ever discovered. It's the same chemistry behind traditional oil paints, which is why museum paintings from the 1500s still have their color. And when you apply it to hot cast iron, the transformation takes roughly 10 to 15 minutes per layer. 3 layers, about 45 minutes of oven time with 10 minutes of hands-on work, and you have a pan with a ceramic-like surface that will outlast every non-stick pan ever manufactured. Modern cookware marketing will tell you that cast iron requires complicated maintenance, that it's finicky, that it needs special care. Those claims are not exactly lies. They're just missing the context that once seasoned properly with the right oil, cast iron is the lowest maintenance cookware that has ever existed. You cook in it, you wipe it out, you put it away. That's the entire care routine. The finicky reputation got manufactured somewhere in the 1980s as a way to make Teflon look easy by comparison. So what is it? What's the oil that takes a pan covered in orange corrosion and turns it into a black glass mirror in 10 minutes? It's flaxseed oil. Food grade, cold-pressed, refrigerated flaxseed oil. The kind sold in small brown glass bottles in the health food section of almost every grocery store for between $3 and $8 depending on where you shop. That's it. That's the forgotten secret. A bottle of oil most people walk past because they think it's for smoothies. Here's why flaxseed oil works when most other oils don't. Flaxseed oil is chemically identical to linseed oil, the same linseed, oil that's been used in paints, wood finishes, and metal coatings for over 1,000 years. The only difference between flaxseed oil and hardware store linseed oil is that flaxseed oil is processed under food-safe conditions, without the petroleum solvents that hardware store linseed oil contains. You want the food-grade version, not because the other kind won't work. It will, but because you're going to be cooking food on this surface for the next 40 years. The process is straightforward. Take your rusted cast iron pan and scrub it with steel wool and warm water until the loose rust comes off. You don't need to get it perfectly bare, just remove anything flaky, dry it completely with a towel, then put it on a warm stove burner for about 3 minutes to evaporate any remaining moisture. Moisture is the enemy here. Any water left on the pan will steam under the oil and create pockmarks in the finish. Once the pan is bone dry and still warm, pour a teaspoon of flaxseed oil onto the surface and rub it into every square inch with a clean cloth. Inside, outside, the handle, the bottom. Then, and this is the critical step, wipe almost all of it back off. You want a coating so thin that the pan looks dry. If you can see oil pooling anywhere, it's too much. 2 thick coatings is the single reason most first-time seasonings fail. The oil beads up, polymerizes unevenly, and flakes off. A layer you can barely see is a layer that will bond to the metal like it was welded there. Now put the pan upside down in an oven, preheated to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Put a sheet of foil on the rack beneath it to catch any drips. Let it bake for 1 hour, then turn the oven off and let the pan cool inside the oven for another hour. That's 1 layer. Do this 3 times total. Total. Active work, maybe 10 minutes across the whole afternoon. Total oven time, 3 hours plus cooling. When you pull the pan out for the final time, it will be black. Not dark gray, not brownish. A deep, glossy, almost wet-looking black. Run your finger across it. It'll feel like polished stone. That's the polymerized flaxseed oil. A carbon matrix chemically bonded to the iron, roughly the hardness of soft ceramic, completely waterproof, and food safe at any temperature you'll ever cook at. A small bottle of flaxseed oil costs around $3 and will season 6 to 8 pans. A new nonstick skillet costs between $30 and $120 and will last 3 to 5 years before the coating degrades. A restored cast iron skillet costs you essentially nothing after the oil and will last roughly 10 generations. The math is not close. The math has never been close. The only reason most people don't know this is that nobody selling pans has any financial incentive to tell you. You now know something most cookware store clerks genuinely don't. You know why that heavy pan in your mother's basement, the one with orange crust on the bottom, isn't garbage. You know why your grandfather never threw away a skillet. You know why the cookware industry stopped talking about cast iron sometime around 1965 and what they replaced it with, and you know exactly how to undo that swap in your own kitchen for the price of a gas station coffee. Standard precautions apply. Ventilate the kitchen when you're baking the pan. The polymerization produces a faint smell that's harmless but strong. Use oven mitts. Don't touch a 500-degree skillet. This is basic stuff, but it bears saying. Go find your rusted pan, check your own kitchen, check your parents' basement, check the estate sale tables at the flea market, where these heirloom skillets sell for less than a sandwich. Bring one home. Spend $3 on a bottle of flaxseed oil. Spend one Saturday afternoon doing the 3-layer bake. What you'll pull out of that oven on Sunday morning is a piece of cookware that will still be in working condition when your great-grandchildren are using it to cook breakfast for their own kids. If this kind of buried knowledge matters to you, the old techniques, the forgotten chemistry, the things the industry quietly stopped teaching because it couldn't make a quarterly profit on them, subscribe and stay close. There's a lot more where this came from. Every week I pull another one of these back out of the archives and into the open. And if someone you know is about to throw away a cast iron pan because they think rust means ruined, send them this before they do it. A 90-year-old skillet deserves better than the landfill. So does the $3 fix that brings it back.